The next property of Laplace transform is initial value theorem. So we have two new properties for Laplace and Z transforms, that is initial value theorem and final value theorem. So what does initial value theorem state? If the function f of t and its derivative f dash of t are Laplace transformable, that means if both f of t and f dash of t are Laplace transformable, if they are absolutely integrable, then we have limit t tends to 0 f of t is nothing but limit s tends to infinity s into f of s, right? Limit t tends to 0 f of t is equals to limit s tends to infinity f of s. So basically it says that to find the initial value of the function f of t using f of s. How can we find the initial value of f of t using f of s? Initial value of f of t is nothing but f of 0 at t equals to 0. What is the value of f of 0, right? Basically, if we are given a Laplace transform, if we are just given the Laplace transform and we do not know what our f of t is, right? We do not know what our f of t is, and we just know what our f of s is. This is the only information we have, f of s. And I want to find the value of f of t at t equals to 0. What is the formula? What is the formula to find this? That we are going to see in initial value theorem. So we'll try to prove that initial value theorem. So now, first, we know my f of t, I'm assuming it to be a causal signal. I'm assuming it to be a causal signal. So what happens to the Laplace transform of f dash of t? Differentiation in time domain. Differentiation in time domain when my signal is a causal signal. What will I have? I'll have s into f of s, s into f of s minus f of 0, right? This is the Laplace transform pair we have seen, right? The same thing here. Now, Laplace transform, now I'm writing it in the form of the definition of Laplace transform. That is nothing but integration. Since it's a causal signal, my integration limits are 0 to infinity and f dash of t e power minus st dt, right? That is equals to s into f of s minus f of 0. Now I'll take limit on both sides. Limit s tends to infinity. This is the limit I'm taking on both sides. So let me take limit on both sides. What happens now? The limit on both sides is taken. Then, now when s tends to infinity, what happens to the integration on the left hand side when s tends to infinity? The integration on left hand side, s tends to infinity, right? S tends to infinity, e power minus infinity. E power minus infinity is nothing but 0, right? The entire term is multiplied by 0, so everything becomes 0. Entire term is now reduced to 0, right? So my left hand side I'm replacing it with 0, so 0 equals to my right hand side. Now this f of 0 is independent of s, so I can get it outside the limit. So what I can write? I can write 0 equals to limit s tends to infinity s into f of s. This is one term minus f of 0. This f of 0 I can get it on I can take it to the left hand side, right? So what I'll have? I'll have f of 0 on my left hand side or the right hand side. So what I'm going to write? Limit s tends to infinity s into f of s is now equal to f of 0. My f of 0 I am writing it as limit t tends to 0 f of t. right? F of t. This is my initial value theorem. This is my initial value theorem. So to find the initial value of my time domain signal, to find the initial value of the time domain signal from the Laplace transform, without doing any inverse Laplace transform, initial value theorem is used. Initial value theorem is used. Similarly, we have final value theorem. So what does final value theorem state? So what is it used for? It is used to find the final value of f of t. That is t tends to infinity f of t. So what is the formula for that? Final value of f of t. That is limit s tends to 0 s into f of s. The same thing we will now prove. Same steps, right? Till here it is the same. Now what we are going to do is we are going to take limit s tends to 0 on both sides. If we take limit s tends to 0, what will we have when s becomes 0? When s becomes 0, this term is going to be 1. This term is going to be 1. So we have integration 0 to infinity f dash of t dt. F dash of t dt. That is nothing but integration and difference, and this dt gets cancelled. Integration of f dash of t, right? Integration of f dash of t. Integration f dash of t is nothing but d by dt of f of t dt, right? Dt gets cancelled, integration and differentiation gets cancelled. I have f of t, and my limits are 0 to infinity. The limits are 0 to infinity. And on the right hand side I have limit s tends to 0 s into f of s minus f of 0 minus f of 0. So if I substitute the limits here, f of infinity minus f of 0, f of infinity minus f of 0, and on the right hand side I have this. So here f of 0 and f of 0 get cancelled. I have f of infinity equals to limit s tends to 0 s into f of s, right? Then f of infinity, now I'm going to write it as limit t tends to infinity f of t, that is equals to limit s tends to 0 f of s, s tends to 0 s into f of s. So this is the final value theorem. So using initial value theorem, I can find f of 0 from f of s, right? Using final value theorem, I can find f of infinity from f of s. So this is the use of initial value theorem and final value theorem. We can find f of 0 and f of infinity from the Laplace transform. So let us look at a few problems on initial value theorem and final value theorem, right? Now x of s is my Laplace transform. My Laplace transform is given 4 by s square plus 3s by minus 5. Now I am asked to find x of 0 and x of infinity, right? X of 0 is nothing, x of 0 and x of infinity are nothing but my time domain signals, initial value and final value. So using initial value theorem, what is the formula for x of 0? X of 0 is nothing but limit s tends to infinity s into x of s, right? So in place of x of s, I am going to substitute my Laplace transform 4 divided by s square plus 3s minus 5. So this is my s into x of s. Now if I substitute infinity, what happens? My numerator becomes infinity and my denominator also becomes infinity. This is not defined, right? This is not defined. So what I'll do, I'll take s square common in numerator and denominator. If I take s square common, what happens? 4 divided by s, right? 4 divided by s, right? Yes cancel, I have 4 yes. Similarly, if I take s square and common in the denominator, I'll have 1 plus 3 by s minus 5 by s square. So this s square and s square will now get cancelled. So what do I have? 4 by s divided by 1 plus 3 by s minus 3 by 5 square. When s tends to infinity, what happens to 1 by s? It is equals to 0. 1 by s square is also equals to 0, right? So if I substitute s equals to infinity, this term goes to 0, this term goes to 0, and this term goes to 0. I have 0 in the numerator and 1 in the denominator. So the value of x of 0 is now 0, right? Value of x of 0 is 0. That is how my initial value theorem works. Right? I have the formula from the initial value theorem. I substituted x of s. Since it is of the form infinity by infinity, it is undefined. So what I'm doing, I'm taking s square common in both numerator and denominator, and I'm substituting s equals to infinity. Now, x of infinity. To find x of infinity, what is the formula? The formula is limit s tends to 0, s into x of s. Right? S into x of s. Now, if I put s 0, what do I have? My numerator is 0 and my denominator is 0 plus 0 minus 5. 0 by any number is equals to 0. So, 0. So, that is the final value of x of t. Similarly, the same procedure will do a different problem. Same procedure, everything is same. We'll just calculate and find the initial value and final value of x of t. So to find the initial value, this is my formula. So what is s into x of s? S into x of s is something like this. This is my s into x of s. Now if I substitute s equals to infinity, s equals to infinity, what happens? My numerator and denominator are infinite. So I can't um, it is undefined. So what I'm going to do is this term I'm going to take from this term, from the term in the brackets, I'm going to take s common, right? So s square, and then I have 1 plus 4 by s, right? 1 plus 4 by s. This is what I have, right? And in the denominator, what do I have? I'll take s square common in the denominator. I have 1 plus 3 by s plus 5 by s square. 5 by s square. So s square and s square gets cancelled. So this is what I have left. So now if I substitute s equals to infinity, this goes to 0, this goes to 0, and this goes to 0. So what is left? 1 divided by 1. So 1 is my initial value. 1 is my initial value. Similarly, I'll find my final value. S tends to 0, the same expression, right? S of s into s plus 4 divided by s square plus 3s plus 5. If I substitute s equals to 0, numerator is 0 and denominator is 5. That is equals to 0. So my initial value is 1, final value is 0. Final value is 0. Initial value is 1, final value is 0. Now another problem. Now my s into x of s into x of s is equals to s into 7s plus 10 divided by s into s plus 2. Now s and s gets cancelled. I have 7s plus 10 divided by s plus 2. Now to find the initial value, the formula is I have to substitute s equals to infinity, right? S tends to infinity. Limit s tends to infinity, s into x of s, s into x of s. Now that is nothing but limit s tends to infinity. If I substitute s equals to infinity, again it is undefined. So I'll take s common in the numerator and denominator. So if I take s common, I have 7 plus 10 by s, and in the denominator if I take s common, 1 plus 2 by s. So whatever I took common in the denominator and the numerator, s and s gets cancelled. Now if I substitute s equals to infinity, this is 0 and this is 0. So I have 7 divided by 1, that is 7. That is my initial value. So to find my final value, I have to do limit s tends to 0 s into x of s, right? So if I substitute, that is nothing but limit s tends to 0, s tends to 0, 7s, what is my s into x of s? 7s plus 10 divided by s plus 2. If I substitute s equals to 0, my numerator is 10 and my denominator is 2. My final value is 5. Final value is 5. So my initial value is 7 and the final value is 5. Right? So this is how I can apply initial value theorem and final value theorem in Laplace transform. So that is the end of properties of Laplace transform.